BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. So, yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest, greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. What's the other thing we said? Freedom?
Freedom through crypto.
Freedom through crypto. That's what we offer. Freedom through crypto. All right, guys. Speaking of freedom, today's thumbnail got the chat going today as we're going to be taking a look at what's happening with this executive order. And President, it's going to be interesting to say the least. They're doing some stuff in the European Union as well. Now, I'm hearing that this is kind of like a phase one of some things that could be coming in the short term. So kind of this is going to be kind of the send off to all the agencies to do work on crypto. And then we might get stuff coming pretty quickly. Somebody says there's something coming on Congress floor. They're going to announce a bill that's going to have something to do with DeFi. I'll tell you, I'm hearing Tether may be done. Maybe Tether's done. So not trying to alarm anybody, but the government's going to regulate it out of existence. I would move to USDC just in general. We've been telling people to do that for a long time. Move to USDC if you have the option over Tether or another stable coin if you prefer another stable coin. But, Tether is going to go the way of the dinosaur, I believe. So we'll see what happens with all that. But none of that's going to be in the executive order. The executive order is going to be very specific. We're going to talk about it today. Let's actually, let me just show coin market cap real quick.
Okay.
And then we will do, we got blockchain background today. So we're going to do a lot with him here in the beginning and then move on from there. This is yesterday's numbers yesterday's numbers. 1.721 trillion, dropped just a little bit over the last 24 hours. Volume up a little bit, 84 billion. Somebody said the Ripple lawsuit has been removed from the SEC website. I'll have to check that out. There's a viral tweet going out saying that making rounds saying that it is over. There's just it's a done deal. We'll see what happens. I'm holding my breath, but I also don't want to die, so I'll breathe. Bitcoin dominance 42.4%, 25.5 Paraguay's sent an ETH transaction. That number was so simple it threw me off. Bitcoin coming in 38,297, about the same place it was yesterday on the show. I think they pumped it 39 during the show yesterday. Ethereum 2535 was below 2,500 last night. BNB hovering around the same spot. XRP around the same spot. Terra Luna down pretty good bit. Cardano down a lot this week as it was getting back close to, relatively close to $1. Now it's back at 80 cents. Look at the biggest gainers of the day. And then we're going to bring on the blockchain backer. Zcash, 1141. Somebody said, Waves has been pumping lately. I said, is Waves pumping because it's like the Ethereum? Or the Russian Ethereum. Did I say Ethereum?
You did.
It's the Russian Ethereum. I never heard that said, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Huh.
It is interesting if you look at coins that are pumping during specific times. We don't really ever take the time to figure out, is there something going on kind of not just with the project, not just with speculation. So I don't know. Maybe so. But I don't have any evidence of that. Just somebody sent me a text. Thought I'd share that. Let's see. That used to be the big thing, by the way. Every coin was the next this of this,
right.
Like the IOTA of South Korea. It may be from South Korea. I don't know,
Or Neo was the Chinese Ethereum. Was the
Chinese Ethereum. Yeah, exactly. So there were so many of those early on back in the day. So let's see. Pax Go, a lot of Anchor doing okay, 319. Nothing really moving big on the market except for Zcash. Privacy coins, am I right? Mm-hmm. Hey, privacy coins. That's why Zcash is pumping. Anchor Protocol down. Thorchain down. Oasis down. Phantom down. Phantom down 30% for the week. We did check on that, by the way, and we had not added to our Phantom bags on the show yesterday. I was checking on that. We didn't. So we decided to hold off on it for now. We'll see what happens. We'll let it develop. It just doesn't seem like the right time to thrust a bunch of money into a project that we're not really sure where it's going. So
right. We have a little bit, but not what we were talking about doing.
Yeah. We were talking about doing 6 figures or whatever. So
right.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's bring on Blockchain Backer. I'm dying to figure out what this guy is gonna say next.
Yeah.
There he is. Blockchain Backer. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Thanks for having me on, brother.
Sure thing, man. Glad to have you on the show regularly. I hope we can make this a regular thing because people are just all over your TA. They absolutely love it in the chat. Had more people yesterday. I don't think they knew that you were on the show before. They were in the chat saying Blockchain Backer called the top. November is the only one. You got some clout for that. But let's talk. Last time you were on a couple weeks ago, we were talking about kind of the fractal, like the really long, the 10-year cycle kind of thing theory. And I noticed I talked about it on the show one day that you had shared a tweet about how it was a very pivotal point for Bitcoin in that kind of 10-year cycle. What happened with that?
All right, so just so we're on the same page here, let's get that pulled up. Would you like me to pull up a chart just to make sure we're on the same thing? Okay.
Sure.
Here we go. So I assume that we're referencing back to, let's get all that up there. From a mega cycle perspective, this is the third time that Bitcoin has gone on a run. Yep. I don't know what's going on with these charts. These charts have been doing this since yesterday. So as you know, this fractal reaches us up into these same levels right in here, right? So this is the third time we've had this happen with Bitcoin. And so your question is, why is it not going higher, or why is it pausing out there?
Well, I just know that you had talked about, let's see, it was on Twitter last week. You had said that it was kind of a pivotal point. It was like an inflection point for your theory about this fractal. Do you remember that tweet?
I don't remember that tweet.
Oh. Well, let me go.
I think in regards to any fractals that have been going on for Bitcoin, I think the most crazy one that's been going on has been the one that we've at least been following for the last 6 months. This one has been ludicrous from a bear market perspective. This is one that we have been following. And a pivotal point in this was if Bitcoin was going to continue following this, which I believe it followed for like 5 months and 26 days, something crazy, is that if it was going to keep moving up in here and keep going like this, these altcoins did not have very much time left for them. And if Bitcoin was going to continue moving up in this direction, we're going to get to a point where tough decisions are going to have to get made in here. It's a pivotal point in regards to whether or not altcoins have the ability to run higher or not run higher. In that, if the altcoin market was telling us a different story from what Bitcoin was, and if this would end up taking a little bit longer. So if we're looking at kind of a pivotal point in fractals that were being posted on my Twitter recently, it's probably this one. And as we can see, Bitcoin has now deviated away from this 6-month fractal that it has been following. For some people, that may be disappointing that has happened. They're probably like, hey, man, I was hoping in a week I could dump my Bitcoin and just run away from this market in this insane environment we're in right now, right? With everything going on geopolitically and all the First
crazy,
of all, let me say this. Yeah, man. It's like
it feels very heavy,
It feels very heavy. It feels very wild out there in the markets. And let me say this. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm doing everything I can to try to interpret the charts like everybody else. And right now, in the moment that we're having, so what I'm going to try to do is stick to talking about what's going on in crypto in here. But we can point to other crazy things that are going on outside of here, like what's going on with the US dollar, what's going on with oil, what's going on.
US dollar's pumping.
It's crazy. Who would have ever imagined that you'd see the dollar pumping and at the same time you'd see oil, you'd see gold, silver, wheat, all these things moving up at the exact same time the dollar is. So it's a lot of crazy things happening in there.
Yeah, soybeans. Big on soybeans on the channel. I love soybeans.
Getting rich on soybeans.
Yeah.
So
where are we looking at with
Sure,
kind of where things are, with the technicals, with Bitcoin, with all this overarching action, overlaid the current landscape. What are we looking at?
Yeah. So, the thing is, even I'm guilty of it, of trying to overcomplicate things and looking around and trying to assess the narrative and determine, what's the next move going to be in this geopolitical situation. As you know, um, let me I take this off so that way you can see me talk.
There
Hi.
you go.
Hey,
The thing, we can all try to guess our best on what the next geopolitical move is going to be. As you know, like the dollar is rising, right? But is the dollar really rising, or is it just because we're imposing sanctions and it's causing the Russian ruble to fall? Is everything losing value, but the dollar's just losing value at a lesser rate than everything else?
Hmm.
So it's hard to really determine what the next geopolitical move is going to be. And you and me and the person watching this right now, we can all read the news headlines and make our next best guess, but it's going to be hard to determine what that is. And sometimes for me, it's just, let's just keep it simple and let me just stick to the things that I'm typically sticking to. And what we know is that since the last time we talked, Ben, nothing has really changed with Bitcoin. It's still
yeah,
in the exact same price level that it was at the last time we talked. It essentially has just been ranging down in here. A lot of times in these ranging structures, we can see that, when last time I was here, we are talking about, hey, this is where I was expecting the top to come in for Bitcoin up here, hold all the way back. And typically in these types of structures, there can be a lot of slop that takes place down in here in these price levels. And that's still what we're seeing in here. Nothing is really broken down with Bitcoin. And if we look to how these retracements can sometimes play out for Bitcoin, they can take a long time and they can be grueling and they can be ugly.
no kidding.
And, one of the things too is, my synopsis, my theory of the market is that Bitcoin is in a bear market. And that's weird to say because like you've been, Ben, I've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
I was creating YouTube videos in 2019, 2020 during C19 when Bitcoin was $5,000 saying, hey, we're going to 70K, getting called, a shill, irresponsible,
Moon boy.
a hopium driver, a moon
Yeah.
boy, right? All that kind of stuff. So, we get up here into these prices, and it's very odd for me to be coming onto the BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel and being like, hey, bear market, as if, I'm a negative person, but I'm not. I'm just showing the charts and what they're doing, and that we can see similar structures on how reversals even occur for Bitcoin in here, and that it's looking like it is going to be a sloppy ride for Bitcoin at this point, based on the structures we've seen and how Bitcoin has behaved before. And nothing that's happening with Bitcoin hanging out in this region, even if it dips lower in here, so long as we don't go take out those May, June, and July
Yeah.
lows, this is all normal retracement stuff that just leads into an ABC correction. And the thing is that we know about Bitcoin is that back in 2017, we talked about this the last time we were on here, is that, that was what led into a big, mega altcoin season. And I think people are getting sick of hearing that at this point, that, hey, alt season,
Altcoin season imminent.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, right, man, whatever. It's been forever, but these are the conditions that we look for. These are the things that we've seen happen in the past. And it doesn't look like currently at this time that, it's going to happen imminently, or maybe it will. We can look at other things that show that things could happen quicker. But when we look at kind of what like retracement structures look like for Bitcoin, it looks like this could probably end up taking quite a bit of time. Um, you know, the thing is too, if we're looking for an alt season, I showed these things last time I was here. Ethereum's price chart, Bitcoin's price chart, they both gone on to these 4.236 extensions for their market caps. But nothing happens without a fall in the Bitcoin dominance. If the Bitcoin
Yeah.
dominance is just hanging out, and nothing's going to end up happening. So, we look at these charts, we look at the Bitcoin dominance, and we say, does this structure typically lead to some type of further fall that takes place? Is this a normal setup for a fall to happen? And when we see a fall in the Bitcoin dominance, is when we see the altcoin market run.
Right.
Well, the other thing too is that with the Ethereum dominance, the top of the 2017 and 2018 Ethereum bull market, it topped at 22.26% dominance. So
Hmm.
we got to that
Pretty
dominance
close.
level at the same time that Ethereum was reaching up to its 4.236 extensions. So, you know, if we've seen the top of Ethereum, and if we're looking for the Ethereum dominance to fall, if we're looking to see the Bitcoin dominance fall, well, to me, it makes perfect sense to look at them combined and say, hey, they both hit these 4.236 extensions. If they're both going to go into these retracements, let's look at their dominance combined. And we see the same structure appearing over here on the dominance chart. for Ethereum plus Bitcoin. And we know in 2017, we had a similar fall that took place back in here that eventually led to one more fall. But the condition for this fall was that the top of Bitcoin had to be in. This is back in December and January to see dominance fall from Bitcoin, dominance fall from Ethereum, and to move into the altcoin market. And so the question remains, is this structure the type of structure that you see before a fall ends up occurring? And we can look back, you can see this is from Bitcoin back in 2014, after you break down a support, attempting to back test it twice in here. And you can see this was a support that lasted for a long time. 2 attempts to get through it. I always call this like a double tap and then a sideways and a capitulation. That's what we see happening in here. We see a break of support, 2 attempts to get through it, and we're hanging out here at the lows. We also saw that happen here on XRP when you in 2021 and in the total altcoin market cap. The support gets broken, 2 attempts to get it, you're sideways, then you capitulate, which is also what we're having in here. So we have this setup happening in here of what typically occurs before there's a capitulation move.
Doesn't it seem a little more sideways though than the other sections that you showed? Like from the fall in I think it was 2014, you were showing like it was like more. I didn't see any spots in the line in the chart that looked like it was just flat. Like, you know, I mean, obviously you got spikes in there, but like if you took the average price, it's probably pretty similar. Does that make sense?
I'll show these again real quick.
And it might be because we're looking at one small section, and when you look at it zoomed out, I mean, it's hard to see those, you know.
Right. So we're looking that we've broken a support.
Yeah.
And we take out this low over here, and then you just kind of waddle in here for a while before you capitulate to your bottom. And that's what we've had.
Yeah.
In all of these. So the setup is similar that is taking place here. I'm sorry, I don't want to ignore your question. I just don't understand your question.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm whenever I talk about lines on charts, people always their heads swim. So I like, to me, like first glance, like when I was looking at the first chart compared to looking at today, like I don't know, it just looks like more like it wasn't already on a steady rolling decline like the other one was. But maybe that's just because the section you looked at was a little bit different. So, maybe. All right. Well, I'm glad nobody knows what I'm talking about. That's perfect. In my brain, this is all making sense. Man. It's all making sense.
Yeah. And now I'm worried. I'm hoping your audience followed me there too. Hopefully I didn't.
Well, when you showed it a second time, it didn't look the way I remembered it looking. So I'll say there were some sections that matched up with that. I think here's the thing. So we've been talking to our audience about what do you do? Like, what do you do right now? And I think my biggest message to people is don't really do anything right now. I think it's a very, we still have hope until we go below 28.5 that there is still hope for a continuance of bull action, right? As long as we don't hit new lows, we hit those lows last July, right? So it's been a long time since we were there. It's crazy to think it's been 10 months already since the May crash. Seems like it was just yesterday when I was in Target looking at Elon Musk tweeting and the price dumping. I still remember where I was. But the thing is that, it doesn't seem right now to have confirmation going one way or the other. So I think people need to be patient and don't all out accumulate right now. Don't all out sell your bags. Don't make one blanket decision because we're just unsure. What are your kind of thoughts on what people should be doing with their, portfolios and a lot of people are newer to crypto. They haven't been through this before.
Sure. And again, I'm not a financial advisor or an investment advisor, but, from my perspective, and when I think about my portfolio, first, the thing I step back and I say is, yes, this thing still looks fine. Nothing has broken with Bitcoin. Everything's still just setting up for like an ABC until those lows were to get taken out in May, June, and July. Then you'd be looking at it, potentially a different picture. But so long we're down here in its slop range, that's just what it is at this point, waiting for a retracement to come in. And like you said, you're saying that the best move is no move. I don't see how anybody could potentially trade the narratives or the things that are happening right now. And I'm in that same boat. Like there's nothing you could do. At least nothing I can think of that you could do, because like, let's say that if you're like, oil is going to go crazy, right? Like oil is flying, this is the change of the paradigm and everything is going to go nuts. Well, you can look to the last time oil rised at this velocity. Right when it got right here, it turned over and it reversed on itself.
Yeah.
So do we know for certain if oil is like going to fire off and it's going to go shooting off into outer space, or if it's going to,
We see spikes in oil like a good bit, maybe not to this extreme, but it's
not
not
to
that
this
uncommon.
extreme?
And they're quick though. They're usually pretty fast. Any movement with oil where it's in the news seems to be like just for maybe a couple weeks, and then you don't really hear about it a lot after that.
Right. And so how do you know if that's going to keep going way higher or if that's going to reverse on itself, and what are the consequences of either
Yeah.
one? And then same for the dollar, right? The dollar, it's just in this like retracement at this point. It's still in these retracement levels right in here. As long as it's in here, what's going to happen if this reverses, right? When we know in both of these circumstances, here's your 2017 and 18 altcoin bull run, here's your 2021 run in the altcoin market. If this thing reverses from the, from the retracement levels, there's a whole different story. And everything is moving so fast right now. I'm like thinking to myself, wow, I'm going on BitBoy crypto in the craziest time that we're having in this market, where it is one of those moments to me of like, it's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot going on right now.
Well, I think people really you have to understand. I think this puts it in context. Like, this is the overarching narrative of just war. Like, this is the largest conflict in Europe since World War II. Like, this is serious stuff that's going on out there. When we look at like invasion charts and you see like Afghanistan and Kuwait, that would not be like a potential world conflict, where NATO countries would be getting involved, and you would have a big power pushing back. So we've done certainty. I mean, people are talking nuclear. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, potentially, somebody said there's like, I don't know, they put a chance on it, like some analytics is like a 12% chance that we'll see the end of the world if we go to war. So where they come up with that stuff, I don't know. It might be the same people that come up with the ESPN stats of like, the most points LeBron scored in the third quarter after he ate a hot dog while, standing outside Crypto.com arena.
When he had his right arm taped.
Yeah, when he had his right arm taped. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so we don't know what's going on. And I think really you just got to ride it out right now. You got to be patient. We could certainly see, new highs coming. Maybe we get a longer market than we've seen. Benjamin Cowan's got the lengthening cycles theory. But right now, I think the important thing, like I said, stand pat. Sounds like you're, pretty much telling your people the same thing. I want to talk about XRP with you real quick because, that's,
Sure.
You're rocking the X hat right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or that
man,
X
it's part of
up.
the brand.
Yeah, you gotta
Put
throw
the
the
glasses
X
on
up.
too.
Yeah. So, yeah, we love people with sunglasses on here at the channel. So when it comes to XRP right now, there's been a lot of news about the case. A big win for Ripple recently, along with, people are speculating this could be over soon. I know there are a lot of SEC letters going out to many different companies, and maybe we're going to see the end of this thing. What is your feeling just in general right now about XRP, and maybe what are the technicals showing?
Sure. And so, for me to speculate on what's going to happen in
Yeah.
regards to it wrapping up, I mean, I see all the same things you see, right? I saw Gary Gensler go on there and say, hey, we'll win some, we'll lose some. But, he's never said that they'll lose some before, right? So
Yeah.
that's a little different. And, Brad went on Fox Business News and, handsome as ever, looking like, he's ready to take over the world and like, we're going to take this thing. And it was like, okay, that felt good. That was some confidence to see. And then, floating rumors. And then, we have the White House executive order.
Exactly.
Man,
Yeah.
and like I've been here where you get your hopes up on those types of things only to get them shattered, right?
Yeah.
So hard to speculate on that. But what I do know is that, XRP from a price appreciation standpoint has done it with the rest of the market every time. There's never been a time where it's happened by itself. Maybe some type of giant news, thing like this happening. If the case wrapped up and XRP was good to go, maybe it would have its own independent thing happening. But from a structural standpoint, XRP is setting up similar to what we typically see in setups before they end up taking off. I've got Bitcoin down here from 2018 through 2020. You have your typical crash, your retracement back to retracement levels, reaccumulation, then off and away you go. For nearly the last year, that's the same type of thing we've seen happening over here with XRP. Crash back to the exact same retracement levels. Maximum fear, maximum pain, and worry occurring down here at the reaccumulation levels. So from a technical perspective, when we combine all those things together, like we're looking at the dominances falling, and we know that XRP has taken off during alt seasons only. And, this chart is set up, which charts typically set up like before they go on to bigger runs. And we see that happening over there with the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum dominance. So I'm very optimistic on XRP, and it shouldn't be any surprise. That's my number one holding. And it's the biggest bag that I have in crypto. So
yeah, you gotta wear a hat if it's your biggest bag, for sure.
Man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think that what we could see if this case does end is I think it would breathe life back into altcoins for a period of time, because it would have reverberating effects on the entire crypto industry as a whole. People would never have invested in Ripple before in XRP, like now they're willing to possibly do that, because it's definitely not going to be considered a security. I know in 2017, like people were talking about, no, don't buy Ripple, it's going to be a security or whatever. So I think that clarity will be, very good, and all the signs are certainly pointing to it. Can't give you a date. We don't know. Like I always say, maybe in September. But I do think, we do have precedent, though, for outlier coins in the bear market doing things much differently than, the rest of the market, which if you look at Chainlink, Chainlink just crushed it the entire bear market, set new all-time high after new all-time high after new all-time high. So it has happened before. There were some other coins that did well during that time. But guys, we got 8,700 viewers right now, 1,500 likes. You guys do us a favor, make sure to smash that like button. Number one thing you can do to help out the Bit Squad, and especially if you're in the XRP army, smash those likes. If you like when we talk to XRP friendly folks like blockchain backer. Yeah. And I think TJ said he's got a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question real quick. I also going to drop the link to his channel, both in the chat and the description, if you guys want to go support BC or blockchain backer. Always a friend of the channel. Good to support him. But just wanted to ask you real quick. I can't come up on this scene, but if the XRP case was to settle like you guys were talking about, I think a lot of people think that would be kind of a bullish catalyst for the altcoin market, so to speak. Do you think something like that could trigger the Bitcoin dominance falling and the next altcoin season whenever it happens? I'm not going to hold you to it, but do you think it takes a dramatic macro moment to kick off the next alt season, or where do you fall on thinking it's still going to happen?
Well, I'm sure you've heard the saying, show me a chart and I'll tell you the news, right? Mm-hmm. And that goes for oil, right? Oil's been skyrocketing, mm-hmm. and then boom, big narrative happens for oil as it's, getting parabolic. And, coming up next week, supposedly by next week, we're supposed to have this White House executive order thing wrapped up. Yep. Maybe these things do come out at just the right time. And, Brad Garlinghouse has always said, the CEO of Ripple, is that, he's not just fighting for Ripple, he's fighting for the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So I'm holding him, taking his word for what it is, that, he's fighting for all of crypto. And if he's going to help get clarity for altcoins, that, the only things that really are like maybe safe right now, according to the SEC, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Mm-hmm. If you saw the floodgates open to, the rest of the altcoin market, I would sure think that people would start trying to price in that, right?
Sure.
So I would think there would be a good chance that the timing of that might show up at just the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think, I would not, let's just say I would not be surprised if things happened at that time.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely very interesting when you think about the timing of everything. A lot of people have theorized that like this bull run has just been waiting for this case to be over. That's the signal point. And, maybe because it's been delayed and taken so long, like unbelievably long, you got to factor in like, not only is this a really long case with a lot of different factors, but also this is in the middle of the pandemic when, now we're near the end of it, but where people don't want to work. You see this in every government agency where people got used to working from home and doing stuff remote. And, now like because of the spike in November, they delayed it until February, the discovery, stuff like that. So, that's probably factoring into all this as well. But I know one thing for sure. One thing for sure is I can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And Ben, by the time next time we talk, hey, hopefully that has happened. But I'm certain we'll see a different landscape than what we're even seeing right now. Compared to the last time you and I talked, so
100%.
many things in the world have changed, and most likely by the next time we talk, they will have changed too. We'll have this White House executive order out. What is that going to say about the rest of the cryptocurrency market? We'll have Fed rate hikes by then. And then whether, the geopolitical landscape has changed on everything that's gone on in just these last 2 weeks will have changed then. So,
yeah. Well, I heard
it'd be wild.
I heard this morning as I was driving in, was just checking out some news on Sirius XM, and not sponsored. I just like Sirius XM. And what the guy was saying on one of these news channels was, there's a chance that really right now there's like no need to raise the rates because the dollar is strengthening, and it's possible like we're already at the beginnings of a recession, in the traditional markets. And so maybe we're not going to see hikes like we thought we were going to. Maybe they're not even necessary. So the narrative changes from day to day. So Blockchain Backer, thank you so much for joining us. You killed it today. As always, look forward to having you back on the show again. Any final thoughts?
No, Ben, but I'm in that same camp as you. The last 2 weeks have been very crazy. Bitcoin is still right where it's been. It hasn't changed in price since the last time we talked. It's really just the world around us has changed a lot. And I suspect the world around us will change a whole lot more. And it's very difficult to predict how that change is going to happen. But currently, things still look okay to me. And like you said, I'm just sitting tight, waiting it out.
Yeah. I mean, look, things, we're in the exact same situation, not knowing where Bitcoin is going that we were in a few weeks ago, but all of these macroeconomic and world factors have changed. But here's Bitcoin, still doing the same thing. So very interesting. We'll talk to you later, man. Appreciate you.
Brother.
You guys don't forget to go subscribe to his channel. We got the link in the live chat and in the description.
All right.
Ooh, I got those sweaty ears.
Yeah. I got to get it. I don't know if you can hear me right now, BJ, but if you can make it to where I could bring my camera up on those interview scenes too, that'd be great.
TJ wants to be seen.
Well, I think it's weird when I'm asking questions and it's just a random.
People are like, who is this creeper?
It's like the voice of
Did you know birds have ears, TJ? I was talking about my sweaty ears here.
That makes sense.
Have you guys seen this? Yeah, birds have ears.
I mean,
they're under
their feathers.
You can't see them. Look, this guy, he puts.
What is wrong with people?
Look at that.
Ew.
Apparently, he sticks a Q-tip all the way through it.
I can't.
My wife discovered this.
Wow.
So if you were wondering, birds have ears.
Now we know.
Now we know. Tweety bird. Jenny Yellen.
The more you know.
All right. Let's move on here. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. We're at 1.45 million subscribers. And we also have other channels. Make sure to check out those as well. Frankie Candles on here Mondays, Wednesdays, sometimes Fridays. Don't forget Hidden Network, BitBoy Bits, our shorter snips of the show. Which, by the way, big announcement, we're going to start a new news video. So we're going to be posting that at night, kind of what we were doing for a while with a quick rundown of the news, less than 3 minutes. We're going to do it a little more formal this time. And it's going to be real quick, just like a little bite you can get. So make sure to watch out for that tonight. And then we're going to be continuing our, I think we're going to do a portfolio reveal video this week.
Oh, wow.
So working on that right now. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Let's see here. We have.
Oh, you never changed your picture?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. It's Twitter Blue, so I don't know if I got to do something special. I don't want to accidentally sell it. Okay. All right. Let's move on here. Crypto markets rebound $60 billion since yesterday's bottom, where I talked about a lot of the price action. Bitcoin stuck under 40K. But the Bitcoin price hit another all-time high versus the ruble. Bitcoin retail investment interest showing signs of growth. Let's see here. Total exchange Bitcoin inflows have been net negative since July of 2021. Hey, listen, I've been telling you guys this. It feels like that the top of the market was May. Like one thing that was very interesting, what I was thinking about is Blockchain Backer was talking about the world events in the last few weeks. Things have been crazy in crypto the last few weeks. Things have been crazy in the world the last few weeks. But do you know what has not happened? we haven't had any increase in views at all. Like no increase in the average number of people that come watch. Varies between, anywhere between 6 and 10,000, depending on the day and what's happening that day. But we haven't seen an influx of people like suddenly interested again. Mm-hmm. And I think that, number one, I think we're also seeing, additionally, I think we're also seeing views and subscribers go down because people are so obsessed with watching the news right now, knowing what's happening. That's a big thing. I know our PR company sent us something and said this is a big effect on overall the way PR works, is that since this big event is going, people are sucked into that. They're not reading as much other stuff. So I think we're seeing that. It's just more evidence that retail has been gone. Retail has been gone for a long time. In this market, we preached to people last year over the summer not to sell your Bitcoin, sell your Ethereum. Bitcoin inflow is negative since July. So even during that run, that big run up, we certainly did not, see retail investors coming back. And I think that's promising to some extent. But I do think that part of that may have to do with, speaking of Dogecoin here, well, why Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin are falling today. You can tell this is a Motley Fool article. I don't hate them, but Dogecoin, like, are people still interested in Dogecoin? Like, is it still a thing?
I'm sure it is.
Shiba or Dogecoin? Right now, I'd take Shiba. If you forced me to choose one, which we own 0 of either at this point, but I think that Dogecoin has had its day and it will not be returning. All right, let's talk about crypto regulation here. The Russia-Ukraine situation fast-tracks crypto regulation in Europe and the U.S. Since the U.S. and Europe rolled out economic sanctions on Russia, there's been some apprehension with the authorities the crypto might be used as a vehicle to evade them. According to Bloomberg, the U.S. is concerned with the Russian people and organizations that could use crypto to evade international sanctions. The executive order is set to be signed by Biden this week. It will assign the U.S. federal agencies to examine the risks and opportunities that come with digital currencies. That's a rough name. Jennifer Epstein. Whew, that's tough. Sorry, Jennifer. Maybe it's a married name. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Timeline was introduced, confirmed by Kayla Trausch. They're going to take reports over 3 to 6 months. The European Union will vote on passing the markets in crypto assets. That's MICA is the name of I guess that's a law. Which is key cryptocurrency law next week. I don't know what they call them over there. On the other hand, the widely criticized ban on proof of work tokens will no longer be considered. Okay, so they're not doing that. Let's see. The European MP tweeted that the Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee, Econ, everything over in Europe is like so formal. Will vote on the bill March 14th. He also suggested crypto assets should be recognized as an investment, yada, yada, yada. A senior Democrat senator has called for American regulators to consider more crypto-friendly regulatory policies. Comments come months after SEC official Gary Gensler likened crypto to the Wild West. I can't remember who that was, which politician it was that said the pro-Bitcoin Democratic senator. I meant to mention this when we were talking about politics one day. There's only 7, I think, 7 investors, 7 senators or congresspeople, I think, that invested over 2021. It's only 7. Must be Senate only.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I have no idea.
6 Republicans, 1 Democrat. So just kind of aligning with that, thing we talk about. We want to see Democrats come to crypto. If you're not in crypto and you're Democrat, we welcome you here for sure. We welcome Republicans, libertarians, people of all walks of life, anarchists, maybe. It's not an official invitation.
We welcome anybody that is for freedom.
Anyone who is for freedom. We're are for that.
Right.
Let's see. And did we pull up? I'm going to pull up Kat's article. Let's see. I want to see it. I keep alluding to I'm hearing things. It's coming from the Cat. So US and EU to put regulation. Let's see if this has anything extra on it. MetaMask, obviously we know what happened with them. Let's see.
And this is on bitboycrypto.com/news.
Yes, bitboycrypto.com. I think this consensus in this MetaMask thing, I think is a little overblown. What? Like the fact that it's no, the MetaMask thing's not overblown, but the fact that like JP Morgan owns a piece of Ethereum, like it's public blockchain, anybody can do anything on it. You know?
No, they're making a big deal that they own 60% of MetaMask, and then in Infura, which is their pretty integral enterprise solution, JP Morgan owns a lot of. So it's a big deal for long term. It's not a really huge deal for individual users in the short term. Basically, it's really no surprise. Banks getting involved in crypto.
Anybody can use it. You know, anybody can use the Ethereum blockchain. So people think about it. So I want to cover this part right here. It says the rules. Now, this is like on the heels of this executive order announcement. The rules released by the OFAC, which is the Office of Foreign Assets Control, an arm under the U.S. Treasury, they put a rule aiming to stop any movement of funds in crypto or otherwise to Russian Federation-controlled entities, which have been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury. Executive order itself is far more than just crypto. However, digital assets. Somebody highlighted that, actually. Are mentioned in the sanctions, specifically noting that digital currencies shouldn't be used to circumvent the embargo. Let's see. It says, to be clear, the OFAC enforcement is not related to the coming executive order. But one thing they're going to have in this is, let's see, where did it say in here about the IPs and stuff? So something about them blocking IPs
yeah, I was going to ask if we had a story on that. Basically, in Russia, is that what you're talking about? They're blocking all websites that aren't .ru. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh, he's talking about consensus blocking an IP range.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
But did you...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you hear that news? Basically, in Russia, they are blocking all websites that aren't .ru to control the messaging, obviously.
Y'all better use that Yandex.
Yeah.
That's a Russian Google. So let's see if there's anything else in here about regulation, anything new, bind to issue executive order. Guys, this executive order, basically what this is, I'm a little more concerned about what could be coming from the Treasury, specifically. That's some things I'm hearing about. But when it comes to this executive order, it's basically like who's in charge of what. We're not going to get like bickering and infighting from all the different agencies and organizations on who's managing what area of crypto. So I don't know. Just think about XRP case being over. That would be certainly great. You know, the SEC might not get another big case because I think most crypto is going to be considered commodities. Like if a crypto is considered a security, ain't none of them except for I think Blockstack had some Series A offering that was a security. But outside of that, we ain't got securities in crypto. So if the SEC is coming after somebody, then they didn't have a fair launch. You know, they didn't do things the right way. So that's really what they should be looking at. Like BitConnect, that's a great case for the SEC, 100%. So SEC doesn't do all bad things, just like 98%.
Well, and it sounds like from what we're hearing, most of all their activities right now is geared up for very large scale seizures of large amounts of crypto, like the Bitfinex hack, for example. That was a lot. We're hearing a lot.
I wonder if somehow these addresses are related to that.
Yeah, who knows? That's where it gets real interesting when you start going deeper and deeper. If you look at 2018, 2019, they were doing certain size, 6-figure busts, maybe 7-figure busts. Recently, we've been hearing hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in crypto assets being recovered, and that's what this is about more than anything. It's tracking and allocating illicit, crypto funds that the government can kind of claim as their own.
So it's important to talk about fungibility, Some of the privacy coin folks, especially in the Monero community, they say that Bitcoin is basically an NFT, that it's non-fungible, which means like for $1, if we're walking down the street and I drop $1 and you drop $1, I can pick up your dollar and you can pick up my dollar and they spend the exact same. We wouldn't even know the difference. Bitcoin theoretically is supposed to work the same way. If I drop a Bitcoin theoretically and you pick it up, like if I lose my private key and I find yours and you find mine and it had the exact same amount in it, the Bitcoin's going to spend the exact same. But now we're getting these illicit addresses, and these are getting black marked by exchanges, which means you're going to have to take them to a mixer or something like that and try to get that undone, which some people could be actually doing this peer-to-peer without realizing it. Right. Like if you had some peer-to-peer Bitcoin deal, for instance, with someone for whatever reason, like maybe, you know, I don't know. Most of that stuff scams, so I don't know the situation, but maybe someone's sitting on a lot of that and is trying to slowly unload it to individuals that may not know that it's black marked, and they send it to an exchange. They can't get rid of it. I'm sure that happens.
Yeah, and it will,
especially when localbitcoins.com was popular.
That's the focus of this next big regulation. Is they're very focused on Bitcoin mixers, or you know, like things like or tumblers is the other thing they call them. That's what they're going to be targeting, because they want to keep their eyes on all the crypto and follow it everywhere it goes. That's the other piece, like you said, about the MetaMask and JP Morgan. It allows a lot more tracking and insights into who owns what, and that's what they're after right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next few weeks develop, but I can tell you, if we don't get a massive crash in the next, you know, few months, then maybe the next few weeks after all this stuff starts coming out, maybe we won't get one. I don't know. Like there's a good chance that this bear market, that we are in a bear market, an absolute bear market, and 28.5 might be the low. Might not ever go lower than that. Maybe one day, but maybe not. Let's believe in imminent altcoin season. I love it. Ethereum's TVL dominance drops to 55% as Bloomberg analyst paints 1.7 thousand bearish target.
That was ironic right after you just said, let's go bullish.
Let's go. I mean, 1.7 thousand, even that bearish. Yeah, $1,700 Ethereum.
I guess
did it go to 16 in July?
I guess it depends on who you ask.
Yeah. It depends on
if you bought it at 4K, 1.7 doesn't sound so good.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat says, concerned with losing it all. I mean, you shouldn't be concerned about losing it all, unless you got to pull it out, or you took a loan and you're upside down. Like those aren't good, smart things to do. But just write it out. Everything's going to be fine. I mean, look, years go by so quickly, you know? Every year I'm alive, they go by quicker and quicker and quicker. So if we're in it for a couple of years waiting on Bitcoin, that's what we'll do. Hopefully not. Worst case scenario could certainly be. By the way, TJ.
Yes.
I was talking to my buddy last night at one of my fellow coaches for the 10U travel team. And he said, you know, you said something on a video the other day that I had never heard before. You said the next pump is going to happen from, you called it the halving?
Wow.
That's where we're at, guys.
Wow.
It may be time to start getting back into a lot of that stuff.
The cycle theories and the halving and all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. We should definitely, that would be good for a lot of people to look at. The before and the after, pricing it in. It's a lot of stuff that we take for granted now than we assume everybody understands. Yeah, granite. It's very hard to rock. We take it. We take things, it's shimmery.
Granite State, New Hampshire.
Now I don't even know what I was going to say. Basically, let's just go on to the next.
Yeah. Like my wife, she says, hubbabaloo instead of hullaboo.
Instead of what? Hubbaloo?
Hubbaloo. Right?
Hubbaloo.
She says hubbabaloo. I can't remember. I don't even know how she says it now. But she said it wrong our entire marriage. And I say it that way now. I don't know the right way to say it anymore. So I might take up that granite. I like that.
Yeah.
War in Ukraine, spiking crude, make a potent combination for a global recession. Certainly we could be in a recession right now, hearing people talk about it. And I tell you, there's a lot of people out there that are hurting for money right now. And I think that's another sign. We're starting to see a little bit of unrest. People are feeling the pinch right now in between their finances and their salaries and the dollar and gas, right? If you've got to fill up a couple times a week, certainly think of that. Hullabaloo. The word is hullabaloo. She says hubbabaloo. So that's what I say.
I like hubbabaloo better. Makes me think of hubba bubba.
So we got 2 days in a row here that we are aliens. We got 2 days in a row here where we're looking at Ethereum potentially dropping. You get a lot of these stories. You know, the whole market, like media, seems to be extremely bearish right now, like almost expecting this drop. I will tell you, I feel like in 2018, do you remember seeing that really? I feel like the whole year people were still bullish.
Yeah, for sure. They were still pushing the mainstream
until like June or July.
I mean, I hear it little bits from kind of new people now that like, oh, crypto is too mainstream to have a bull market like we've experienced before. Like there was a lot of that in 2018. Like there's it's too, the network effects are too strong. We're gonna see.
That's why I lost all my money then.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's why I want to remind everybody this goes for Bitcoin and blockchain. Also very relevant with the metaverse, which we talk about a lot here and on other channels. All of this stuff we talk about, it's true. It's going to happen. None of it's going to happen as fast as we want it to, or as fast as we think it's going to, or as fast as it feels like it's going to. Like it's happening, but it's going to take time. So that was the same thing they were saying in 2018, 2019. Mainstream adoption's too strong. Everybody's using it. Nations are going to be adopting it.
They were saying it in 2013, 2014 too.
Right.
Believe it or not. You can find articles from that time talk about the halving and is the price baked in now and all this stuff, you know.
And then we see El Salvador adopt it. Oh, a nation's taking it as national, tender, legal tender. We're going to see that instantly all across the world. And all of us Bitcoiners were just waiting for those dominoes to fall. Here we are a year later. Really isn't that long. They will start to fall, but it's not going to be in the following weeks and months like we hope. It'll be years.
Yeah. We had some comments in the chat. You never lost it if you stayed in crypto. That's absolutely right. Was down at one time, but even my bags that were deeply, deeply underwater that in retrospect, like wasn't really that much money back then for me where I'm at now. But then it felt like a lot of money going almost to zero, and they're all up above where let me phrase that. Not all. And there's certainly some coins out there that didn't come back. But I'm thinking about like IOST is one for sure. I'm thinking about what's the other coin I was thinking? Oh, ZRX that I had hacked, and I don't have the money anymore because it got hacked, but watch the value, it's way more than it was when it got hacked. And that was like pretty much the peak of ZRX during that time. So looking at total value locked here for different platforms. We love layer ones. We're going to continue to preach that these are where the majority of your portfolio needs to be in. Ethereum is number 1. Terra is now number 2. BSC number 3. I never thought I would see BSC fall that fast, which now is BNB, is not BSC anymore. But Avalanche, Phantom, still with a lot of activity. I wonder if this is going to be changing. Solana, Tron. Is Tron having a renaissance? CryptoFace has been talking about it. I've seen people talk about it. I drive a TRX. Chronos? Oh, that's crypto.com. That's CRO. I keep forgetting they rebranded the coin. Okay. DeFi chain, Harmony, Elrond, way down there, 19. Surprised how low that one is. This is an interesting list. Cardano, 28.
It is.
Guys, I feel like Cardano is past its worrisome stage. And over a while, it's been pretty critical about what is happening. Title's so stupid, but boy would be wrong about upcoming executive order. No, douche. They've already said what it's about, you idiot. If you would have listened to the show, you would know. It's not speculation. They already said what's going to be in it, you dummy. Anyways, but the point is that what was it? That threw me off. That irritates me when people are so idiotic in the chat. Like, low IQ stuff really bothers me.
Cardano is past its point.
Yeah, I was being pretty critical for Cardano for a while. Congestion issues, the NFT issues. But I feel like it's moved past that. And, I think things are back on the right direction. They were always on the right direction, but just some hiccups or some infighting, some projects that were having some problems. But now I think they've got it going in the right direction. So I'm expecting nothing but, all the bullish scenarios over the long term that we've played out for Cardano. Don't want to just make that point. A new NFT. Yeah, go ahead.
You think it's time? We should probably have Charles on again. It's been a while. I feel like they've got some updates coming out. It's probably a good time for him to do the rounds.
Yeah.
We should reach out.
He's been on some other channels.
I think we just need to touch base.
Yeah. Some people think I am Charles Hoskins.
That one lady.
One lady.
Good times.
Man, tell you what, bull market.
That was the top right there.
That was the top. That was the top. When a lady at the airport thought I was Charles Hoskinson, that was the top. Tell you what. Okay. A new NFT grouping is born. Minorities promoting their cultures. We just looked at, metaverse immigrants a few days ago. Now, Jews, turban male Sikhs, I think that's how you say it, and hijab wearing women are the first to explore digital extensions of their identities.
Interesting.
In July 2021, sitting in his home in Singapore, Amar Badi had an idea. He imagined a digital identity, an NFT that resembled him. Haven't we been doing this basically since video game creators were around? What do you call that when you create a character? Like create
avatar?
A character?
An avatar?
An avatar creator?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Tiger Woods, I think it was 1990.
Yeah.
It was 2002 probably came out. It had the most realistic character creator. I could actually make someone that looked just like
Tiger Woods PGA Tour on PlayStation 2 or something like that.
I think it was 2.
I played that same game.
Yeah,
that was solid. That was the only golf game I ever played.
Me too.
Great game.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
But let's see. Now, of course, that's not an NFT when you do it on a video game. Around the same time, some other folks, Doa Abadaway, I didn't say that right, Carter Zahar were enamored by a similar idea. First token to represent Muslims in the metaverse. Here's my thing with all this. This is great that people are representing their culture and stuff, but isn't the metaverse kind of when you watch Ready Player One, obviously that's not real life. This is, but aren't we supposed to pick maybe non-realistic looking people, like characters, like in Sandbox you do? Can't make someone look like you in Sandbox. Just an interesting idea. I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong on this. But I just don't want. I would hate for some of the issues we have in real life, to carry on in the metaverse. I think this could be a way we could escape some of that, right?
I feel like there's no way we escape that. That's humanity.
Yeah. Well, I just mean I feel like there's so much divisiveness out there, pulling people apart, tearing people apart. And metaverse should be an escape from that. So where we can all come together and watch a BitBoy crypto video in the BitBoy arena in Sandbox.
Yay.
But it's a very interesting idea. So let me know what you guys think about this. Some people are saying that it could be these NFT creators have faced scrutinizing questions about rug pulls and cultural appropriation. What if you found out that the person wasn't actually that ethnicity? I think these people are, but delicate subject. I'm talking about race on the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta be so careful these days. What you say? He's common sense. Use common sense. That's what I do. I generally just use common sense, and it has steered me on a live show with a big mouth that's very loose for a year without saying anything extremely stupid. I think. What's the dumbest thing I ever said on the show?
That's probably subjective.
You think so?
I'm sure there's some people on Twitter that would tell us.
Yeah.
I have no idea though. I'm barely paying attention half the time anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. God, you missed my best moments.
Which ones?
Yeah, I want to know if what people think it was the dumbest thing I ever said on the show. I already know what it's going to be. Bitcoin to 100K.
Well,
Mr. X told me.
Yeah.
Ripple case over in September.
See, I don't.
XRP.
I don't see those as stupid because you can make a case.
I know, but that's what they're going to say. I'm just saying that's what green dots work.
$2,500 ETH on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It got there. I have the pictures. I have the videos. It's in our intro.
I'm trying to think what would be.
We should do a new intro now that we're in here. But we don't have enough content yet from the new studio.
Yeah. Frogs.
All right.
Somebody said frogs.
Frogs. Tell you what. Aliens. Okay. Crypto sports partnerships projected to reach $5 billion by 2026. Hey, maybe we got some stuff going on. I don't know. So some potential stuff going on in this world we got introduced to a couple weeks ago. More on that, maybe down the road. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. Americans say gala games. That's a good one. Oh, this is pretty fun. This is pretty funny, actually. Green dot explosion. XRP case done deal. Let's see.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what my answer is.
Yeah.
Bitcoin will never go below 40K again.
47.
47.
47 was the one that I felt good.
That would be mine.
Yeah. Let's see. What about your guy, Calvin Ridley? God, I got so much to say about Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, he screwed us.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me tell you. Sometimes the sports gods come to you and they offer you something so great, like Aaron Rodgers re-signing if you're a Packers fan. Calvin Ridley screwed the Atlanta Falcons so bad. Supposedly, he just didn't want to play in Atlanta. That's what the entire thing was over. He just didn't want to play with the Falcons. Maybe he didn't like new coaches. This is our first-round draft pick from 2 years ago. I got all of his jerseys. My whole family has Calvin Ridley jerseys.
Same.
And, we bought all Kyle Pitts jerseys this year. He ain't going nowhere. And then the guy just sits down and says, mental health. Mental health was an excuse for this guy. He didn't want to play for the Falcons. And we were going to have to look at having to trade him and maybe getting a second-round pick. But I don't think we would get that high because a guy who just sits out a whole season, who wants to pick him up? Suspended for a year for gambling on games during the season. I believe probably Falcons games. So what does this mean for the Atlanta Falcons? This means we suddenly have $11 million in cap space that was not there before. So really excited about that. So didn't want to mention that. What a crazy story.
That was wild.
And it didn't have anything to do with his, why he was sitting out. All right. Sandbox World of Women formed $25 million NFT alliance for WOW Foundation. The World of Women thing is getting pretty big.
I'm seeing a big push on that lately.
Yeah. Well,
just on...
Should we get a woman avatar? I don't want to own a woman.
No.
It'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a wife. A nice relationship with one. But I don't know. Can we get in there? Or is it only women?
Something tells me it's for women.
Yeah. Let's see. Sandbox will grant $25 million. What? Golly. That was easy. $25 million to launch this. Well, they are really putting their money where their mouth is. Two of the most prominent metaverse or Ethereum NFTs, Sandbox has announced a partnership with NFT profile picture project World of Women, the WOW Foundation, which is kind of ironic. It's called the WOW Foundation because isn't that like
World of Warcraft? Like
World of Warcraft, is kind of the cliche of the woman hater, like the guy who sits in his basement playing World of Warcraft, typing on Twitter, Yeah. No offense, you play World of Warcraft. I'm just saying it's cliche. Isn't that what the guy in South Park when the guy's he's playing World of Warcraft or something?
Yeah.
I don't even know what game. I don't even know what World of Warcraft looks like. I think is there a StarCraft?
There is
in outer space.
There is a StarCraft.
World of Warcraft is similar to this, except it's just ogres or goblins or something.
No. StarCraft is very different from World of Warcraft.
Oh, it is. It's not the same game.
Totally different type of game. I think there is a Warcraft that's similar to StarCraft, but neither one is similar to
World of Warcraft is not the same as Warcraft?
No, two different games.
I can't keep up with y'all.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I'm always proud of myself when I discover more things I don't know about this stuff. So I want to play Sandbox today. I want to get in there.
Let's do it.
Oh, we got ballroom dancing today.
We're going to be, I told the Twitch chat, we're going to be streaming on Friday for Hate Gaming. We're going to start doing that every Friday. So if you guys have ideas.
What are we going to play?
That's what I'm asking them. We might play I think we might play some Valorant and some League.
Oh, you only got the computer set up there, right?
No, we're going to set up consoles too. So we can play Madden, Mortal Kombat, all that kind of stuff. Sweet. Jackbox, stuff with the Discord. So yeah, we're getting a little off track.
Cool. Yeah, we were way off track tonight.
Yeah, way off track.
Well, when you have the interview at the beginning, it kind of, we love the interviews. They're great. We're going to keep doing them. But it kind of I'm not sure if I should speed up through the stories or slow down. So $25 million for World of Women. That's great. XRP makes sixth attempt at breaking out above descending resistance. Throw the X up if you're in the XRP army. Hit that like button while you're at it. It says here, ETH is trading inside. Zen and XRP are following descending resistance lines. Being Crypto analyzes the price movements, yada, yada, yada. We already looked at that. XRP has been decreasing underneath a descending resistance line since February 8th. The line has now been validated 6 times, most recently on March 7th. Since resistances get weaker each time they are touched, an eventual breakout from this line seems to be the most likely scenario. So, maybe we'll get a breakout for XRP. That would certainly be great. A lot of positive action, I feel like, from the community right now with XRP.
Yeah.
A lot of developments with the case. And just so you guys know, the tweet I was talking about, somebody quoted my tweet in a story about this. See if I can find. Well, first, there was also this tweet here. Where is it? The most shocking non-news of the day. Most non-shocking news of the day. Scoop. Turns out even the staff at the SEC aren't confident they will win the case against Ripple. A source close to the SEC tells me Hester Pierce has expressed privately she thinks the SEC will not get the outcome it's looking for. So that is internal. But then there was also, let's see, I retweeted this. Let's see. I think it was somewhere around here. Oh, yeah, there it is. So this guy tagged me in this. The original tweet here. Nope. Where's the original tweet? Not popping up. Why is it not popping? There it is. All right. It says, anyone else heard the rumor? Settled. All of the staff on the SEC versus Ripple case have been reassigned a week until the news is public. SEC now hiring to prosecute illegal currencies. The beer in your hand is now champagne. Well, we don't drink. We drink water here on the channel. Your VW is now a Lambo. The girlfriend that dumped you is calling. XRP. Someone said, can I confirm? And of course, I just said, I can confirm that I'm praying that this is true, but I've learned over the last period of time, don't take everything as gospel truth on timelines. So we hope this is the case. There's a lot of movement on the SEC side of things that seem to indicate, possibility, but most likely, we know that Jeremy Hogan believes probably over sometime between August and November, also known as September. I'll be honest with you. I'm pulling forward to end in March. September will be great, but I'm pulling forward to March. ASAP.
Well, here, are you ready for quick hits and Q&A?
Let's do it.
Yeah. This question, we'll get to the rest of the Q&A later, so if you guys have questions, drop them in, but this relates to both. What do you think will happen first? MLB announces start of regular season or XRP settlement?
I gotta go with MLB season. Just the odds. I think MLB season will start on Memorial Day. That's my guess. I think June is certainly a potential, a possibility for the XRP case to be over. I said that, once I realized it wasn't happening last year. June is kind of what I was targeting, so we'll see.
Cool. Any quick hits?
Oh yeah. We have a few here. Quick hits. I want to address the crypto banner thing. Somebody said they want me to address that. I'll address that real quick. I got some thoughts on it. XRP lawsuit, crypto law founder gives timeline for settlement. We already talked about that. Here is something from Ripple showing that this is no longer, I guess is what they were talking about in the chat, where they said it's no longer on the website. So you can see here, it doesn't have any documentation here. Supposedly this did before. Red Bull getting into NFTs.
Not surprising.
Yeah, I was about to say, why are they not already NFTs? NFT startup Immutable valued at $2.5 billion. Temasek-led financing. Did we keep that? I think we said we were going to. We didn't have very much.
We did decide we were going to keep it. I think he did sell it.
So it's X Immutable X for us.
Yeah, but we're going to get some more.
Okay. That's one I'm really bullish on.
Same.
After talking to Stash loves it. He's usually right about these coins when he says, go all in on this one. Ukraine buying military gear with donations. Vladimir Klitschko releasing NFT collection. Ukraine still hasn't released their NFT for the donations. ZipMex taps Polygon. The APAC region, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I did want to address the crypto banner. I think Rand made a video about basically there's, some folks out there that love, controversy. They love attention. And there's no better ticket in crypto to getting attention than mentioning the people at the top of this industry in videos and they do it in every niche, in every niche they do it. People make controversy videos and stuff like that. So the allegation from one of these videos, people make videos about me all the time. So we don't address stuff like that. And here's why. Because I think what Rand did was very important because it was a little more than an allegation because I think, to my understanding, he accidentally showed on a video that they had sold a coin the day that someone was there for an interview. So I think it was important to address it since there was like factual information out there and he really did do it. People accuse us of this stuff all the time. If you guys had any clue how disconnected we are from, look, do we still have this in the portfolio? We don't even know. Yeah. We're not like all hands on deck, like, oh God, video price goes up. Somebody's talking about this coin. Twitter's all the rage on, coin X, let's go sell it. We don't operate like that at all. We run a much bigger business than that. So that's why we don't address stuff like that. It's all conjecture. And I think what Rand said in that video response was very important because he said, look, they didn't talk about the 5 coins that we, covered on the channel that were, 1,000% pumpers. They don't mention the fact that we tell people, most of your portfolio, they've got they say 50% in Bitcoin, ETH, and top coins. And they say 15% in degen coins. And then the other 35% is 100x coins, they call it. I tend to think like really probably, somewhere between 30 and 60% of your portfolio should be Bitcoin and Ethereum only. And then you start getting into top 10 all the way down to like top 100, maybe top 200. But then outside of that, very small, 5% of your portfolio for coins below that, even if you want to do that, right? So we preach that here. Rand preaches that there. No one ever talks about that. All they do is they take one snippet of one video where he said, I think they sold 1% of their holdings. Well, he got way more money than I thought he got. He got $2.5 million in Alien Worlds. But look, I think it's important also for me to say, like, we're investing in a lot of projects, many less. We're in a lot of private sales and stuff like that. And there's always been this kind of like unspoken thing that if you're invested in private sales, like you're supposed to come on your channel and talk about it. And, when they have developments and stuff, look, here's how we're not doing that anymore. If we talk about something, it's because it needs to be talked about because it's an important story. Like we covered Cartesi yesterday. I don't even think we have Cartesi in the portfolio right now. I think it's time to really look at top projects at this uncertain market time. We still support Cartesi. We love Cartesi. Favorite project we ever worked with on a advisor level. We're going to talk about those things. We're never going to be pressured to say stuff up here about whatever we want to talk about. We're going to choose that, and we will continue to do that. And I think Rand, they generally do the same thing. They've got a lot more, smaller investments and stuff like that. Push more of the degen stuff. If you want degen, go over to Rand's channel, Crypto Banner. It's a great channel. But sometimes you get a little too much credibility to stuff when you do address it. But in this situation, I think I like what he said. I relate 100%. You guys know what it's like to be falsely accused of stuff out there, and I stand with him. So he admitted what they did was wrong, which we've never done that, by the way. We don't sell coins after videos. We never have, never will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
cool.
We're gonna say something.
No, I was just. Are you ready? You want to do a couple of these questions?
Yeah, I think that's all I want to say.
Yeah. No, that was good. Like you said, we've never done any of that kind of stuff, but did want to address what they were responding to since we were getting asked. Sexy cool guy or cool Colin guy. What happens to XRP when CBDCs go mainstream?
So basically, the way the future will exist will be a CBDC for retail and a CBDC for wholesale. The retail will be basically, probably USDC or something like that. The wholesale version will be for institutions. That will be on the XRP ledger. So I think it will be very, very bullish when that happens. But we're a long ways before that, before we're down to 2 pretty little coins in the CBDC race.
Do we have any idea when our sandbox lane will be ready for people to go on quests?
Yeah, it's now, right? I mean, you can do the quest that they give you right now. The full open season will be, I think, who was it? Craig was telling us in a few months, probably. We can't access our land right now.
That's what they're asking. When can they access our land? Which is...
We'll be in that when everything is open.
When they actually run the full beta or whatever. Everything's alpha right now, right?
Yes. Yeah. Which, like, the beta was already out, I guess. The beta was probably closed. Hey, we have a meeting with Sandbox in the morning.
There you go. Is it on the calendar?
On my calendar.
Okay. Do you think play to earn games will be easy to use for new and less educated users?
Video games are for kids, right? I mean, like, that's the idea. Young people pick up video games very quickly. So I don't see why we wouldn't see the same adoption with play to earn. So obviously, I know there are people, God forbid, my age playing video games. And, maybe if you haven't done play to earn before, it's new and it's clunky, but kids are going to grow up with this now. So I don't think there's going to actually be a really big learning curve, because the people that want to do it that are older are going to already probably know what it is and be interested in it. And they've probably done all the research. So at least to know how to do it. I don't think there's going to be a big adoption curve there.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There's not going to be much. There's going to be a learning curve at first. Like right now, they're very clunky, but they're going to get easier and easier.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's the whole show today. We'll be back tomorrow. Frankie Candles will be on tomorrow. So excited about that. That's all I got. Be blessed. Well.